Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Matt Jarbo. This is Three Buck Theater, and here's an interesting one for you. So, with all of the streaming services these days doing everything they can to get one up on the other, right? We know that HBO is very much sticking with Game of Thrones. It's ordering the prequel series, which looks pretty good from the outset. Amazon is wanting to one up Game of Thrones by not only getting Lord of the Rings in a 5-season, $1 billion deal, but also the Wheel of Time series. Amazon has decided it wanted to make its way into the fantasy realm by picking up Chronicles of Narnia as a way to totally take a couple shots at Amazon. And now they've also decided, or announced today, that they've picked up the rights to all the Roald Dahl books, and they're going to turn it into a Roald Dahl animated universe full of event films. Yeah, or event series. I'm sorry. Event series. Now that is interesting. Saying here, Netflix will create a Roald Dahl animated universe. Saying here, Netflix announced a slate of animated series based on the British author's beloved stories, including Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, the BFG, and more. Now, a lot of these have, in fact, seen live-action adaptations, right? Obviously, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory from way back in the 60s. Great movie. Fantastic. 70s, sorry. Great film. I loved it personally. Still do to this day. The Tim Burton reimagining in 2005 was also pretty solid. The BFG kind of came and went, right? But Matilda, 1990s Matilda, directed by Danny DeVito. You can't really fight that movie for anything other than pure greatness, because that's what it really is. So the question is, though, is Netflix going to, like, what exactly, I guess, is their overall plan here? Well, they're not giving us any real details, but the press release gives us an idea as to what might be coming. Now, it says here, Roald Dahl stories have entertained children for decades. Now, the British author's creations will see new life for a new generation thanks to Netflix. The streaming service announced the entire slate of original animated content based on his iconic characters, including the previous mentioned films. His stories have been brought to life on stage and film, and now the author's entire library will get their own premium animated event series and special. This is coming from Netflix, which is teamed up with the Roald Dahl Story Company for this venture, saying Netflix intends to remain faithful to the quintessential spirit and tone of Dahl, while also building out an imaginative story universe that expands far beyond the pages of the books themselves. Now that's always a little frightening, right? When you have the adaptation, the company saying, we're going to do an adaptation, a live action or animated adaptation. And they're like, we're going to create a universe that expands past the books pages themselves. And you're like, I don't know, man. It's like, I mean, keep in mind, going back to the whole Amazon Lord of the Rings thing, right? The 5-season show that they're talking about right now is not going to be like a retelling of Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. It's going to be like the story of Aragorn. At least that's what they're talking about for the first season. Don't get me wrong. It's cool and I'm for that. And obviously the Tolkien estate's on board with it too. So clearly, like, you can go past that if you have the original company or the property rights holder on board with you. And that's actually where things are with this. So even though it sounds kind of weird, Dahl's widow, Felicity Dahl, is also on board for the project. She says here, our mission, which is purposefully lofty, is as for many children as possible around the world to experience the unique magic and positive message of Roald Dahl stories. This partnership with Netflix marks a significant move towards making that possible and is an incredibly exciting new chapter for the Roald Dahl Story Company. Roald would, I know, be thrilled. And that is freaking cool that they're on board, right? Now, obviously, she's going to come out and say that. It's a press release. They're going to be, her job is to pimp it up, right? She's going to be like, we just made a shitload of money off this, man. Ha, ha, ha. But here's the thing. I really wonder if this deal, it was announced, if it sparked the Robert Zemeckis adaptation of The Witches, right? And I talked about that the other day, where they're going to be reimagining The Witches, not set in London or Britain, but instead set in 1969 Alabama, featuring a young black boy and his black grandmother. Like, that's going to be the characters in the film. And I'm like, that seems a little bit interesting to put this movie together like that. But now we've got this announcement coming out, which means these particular stories, by the way, Roald Dahl wrote The Witches as well, just in case you didn't get that. So you got these stories that are going to be announced. And those are all like the more, you could say up-tempo, upbeat stories that we know and love from him. But not only that, like he did The Fantastic Mr. Fox, which was turned into a great movie by Wes Anderson. I don't want to see them remake that. James and the Giant Peach could easily be remade, but its stop motion work from the 1990s was pretty great. Matilda is just perfect the way that it is. Willy Wonka and Charlie both are great in their own rights. And there's a lot of other things that he's done that I think would be right for the ripe for the small screen. And Netflix is obviously realizing that the future is going to be in trying to combat Disney. Why do you think they're pushing for Narnia? It's a big family thing, right? A lot of Christians love Narnia. A lot of fantasy fans love Narnia. They want to keep young people watching Netflix. That's why they're going to be heavily investing in this animated event series. Come on. This is all aimed at the younger audience, which means that's where they're going to spend their money. For a while, it was trying to get the dark, gritty, older audience on board. But now that Disney's coming out with Disney Play, or Disney Plus, you can clearly see that there's a reason here to be afraid. There's a big reason to be afraid that these guys are very much going, ooh, we need to compete with what Disney has, and what Disney's going to be pushing is family-friendly content. So what can we get our hands on that's popular, that could easily be adapted, whatever the hell it is, and then also fall into that narrative. And they're going to go this route. I can't say if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work, but all I do know is that I'm interested to see more, because I do love these stories. I grew up loving these stories. I know my daughter is going to love these stories, and I want to see what Netflix puts together. My only hope is that they focus on a better animation than like the Magic School Bus reboot. Oh God, that's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. But unfortunately, it's the world we live in now. So we'll have to wait and see how much money they're going to be able to invest in the actual manufacturing of this, the creation of this. But in the meantime, I'm curious to see where it goes, and I wonder what you guys feel. Do you think that this is going to be a good thing, a bad thing, a mediocre thing? Do you even care at this point? I mean, you've probably seen the big screen adaptations of at least most of these stories, so your mileage may vary on getting an animated event series, but this would be more truthful, more faithful to the book versus what we get in a 2-hour movie. So who knows? Let me know down in the comments below if you made it this far. Type BFG into the chat so I know. My name is, of course, Matt Jarbo. This has been $3 Theater. Please toss a like, subscribe if you like this and you want more. I'll talk to you all later. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.